Fiscal year 2019 budget request is $8.6 billion for veterans for mental health services. Part of this funding accounts for critical one-year period following uniform service and transition to civilian life. My colleagues and I on the committee have had multiple hearings and roundtables, one just the other day on the transition assistance process. Can you specifically tell me what the department is doing to assist in this transition in the upcoming year?
Yeah. First thing that we're doing, we've taken a look at this TAPS program, this transition program, and recognized that we could be doing it a lot better. This is a shared responsibility with the Department of Defense. Our Veterans Experience Office has really looked at this and made a number of recommendations that we're working through with the Department of Defense to make that a better program. And I think changes already have taken place that have made it a better program. We need to pre-enroll our veterans in their benefits so that they know they have them when they leave, instead of wondering and going through a lengthy process after they leave, wondering how they get access to benefits. That's our biggest issue, to make sure people know these services are there for them, make it easy for them, essentially an auto-enrollment process so that there's no work to be done.
Okay, thank you. Next question has to do with the Blue Water Navy veterans. The VA budget seeks $2.9 billion for veterans benefits, including disability compensation benefits, programs for 4.5 million veterans and 600,000 survivors. As you know, certain veterans, such as the Blue Water Navy veterans, are excluded from these benefits. While you have said in the past that these veterans shouldn't be waiting any longer, that's a quote, I want to know if the VA has any plans to re-examine this in the upcoming year. If not, why not?
Congressman, the problem is there's not much to re-examine. There's not data there that we can go back. I've tried every which way to see if we could find ships and do microscopic analyses or do new studies. There's not going to be new studies. This is about our obligation to those who have served. And to simply keep on passing the buck on this and not honoring this country's obligation to our veterans, I don't think is morally the right thing to do. So I am committed to working with you, and I know the chairman feels the same way, to try to find a way to honor our obligation to these veterans. And we're working now to have discussions with the administration, to work with Congress. We need to find those offsets. We need to find a way to do this. I believe it's morally and ethically the right thing to do, because there's not going to be scientific data, unfortunately, 40, 50 years later to be able to rely upon.
So you would consider this a top priority?
I think we have to do this, and I think we have to find the offsets to be able to go ahead and to resolve this issue. They've waited too long.
Yeah, the chairman has found the offsets, and I know he wants to proceed.
Good.
So hopefully we can get this done very soon. Like I said, they can't wait any longer.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Question 3 has to do with the burn pits. The fiscal year 2019 VA budget requests $727 million for direct research, a 14% increase over the fiscal year 2018 levels. One of my priorities in this committee is to examine efforts to improve research and treatment for veterans who may be experiencing negative health effects due to toxic exposure, such as burn pit inhalation during the military service. I know it's a priority for a lot of members here on the committee, both on the Republican side and the Democrat side. What is the VA doing to further this goal?
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I don't know the answer to that question. Does Mark, do you? Can we get back to you on that? I agree with you.
Please do.
We should, yes.
Thank you. Well, I've got 20 seconds. I guess I'll yield them back, Mr. Chairman, and I'll submit the rest of the questions. Thank you very much.
I thank the gentleman for yielding. Ms. Esty, you recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Secretary, and thank you for taking the time to meet with us yesterday. And I think it's really important that we keep open lines of communication. We're here today to talk about how we can better deliver care for veterans and their families. And I know we have a shared goal around that, but we in Congress have a responsibility to make sure that those taxpayer funds are wisely spent and appropriately spent in service of all of that. And I do appreciate your willingness to speak with us on the IG's report, and we'll deal with that at another time. And I do want to associate myself with the remarks of the good gentleman, Bill Rackus. Burn pits and blue water veterans are very big issues in my district. Have legislation on both of those bills, and we're looking forward to passing up. And the one other issue I want to flag is what we discussed at breakfast yesterday, is really rethinking a little bit on the disability ability issue. What can we do for more temporary disability status in order to able our veterans to get back and fully participate in the economy? And I think that's something I hope we pursue and figure out a way to do that. I want to focus with our time here, and I'm reserving, Mr. Chairman, 30 seconds for my friend, the gentleman from Minnesota, my former district.